going to be a different kind of service today. This is still church, make no mistake, but this is going to be more of a variety show than we're here to show appreciation to you today and have some fun.
As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, let's go down. Won't you come on down? Oh, brothers, let's go down, down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sinners, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sinners, let's go down, down to the river to pray.
We've all heard that once a bird has a broken wing, that it can't fly high anymore. But let me tell you what I know, that it ain't always so. 'Cause once I was broken and sore. I fell from above like a wounded little dove, with no hope of ever flying again. But with grace from above and God's marvelous love, I'm flying higher than I've ever been. Yes, I'm flying higher and higher than I've ever been. Yes, higher and higher than yesterday's sin. Where the eagles can't soar, but I can see heaven's door. And I'm flying higher than I've ever been.
Sometimes you might be on your knees for hours before the light comes breaking through the door. But if you truly believe in His power, can breathe life into your troubled heart. Till the answer comes, God, keep praying, keep praying, keep praying. Till the answer comes, God, keep praying, keep praying till the answer comes. If you knock one time and there's no answer, well, don't turn away from the door.
Yeah, come on.
You gotta knock again until you get let in. Sometimes it only takes once more.
Oh, yeah.
Till the answer comes, you gotta keep praying, keep praying, keep praying. Till the answer comes, you gotta keep praying, keep praying till the answer comes. Till the answer comes, you gotta keep praying, keep praying, keep praying. Till the answer comes, you gotta keep praying till the answer comes.
Keep praying.
bricks and stones themselves alone aren't everything it takes to build a church that'll stand so strong when this old world begins to shake. A fool may build his building tall, but it will be so frail compared to this church that Jesus built with 3 old rusty nails. And I know that this church is still standing, and it will never fall. Bloodstained its foundation, and faith put up its walls. Though the world may come against it, oh, they will not prevail. He built this church on a rugged cross and 3 old rusty nails. He built his church on a rugged cross and 3 old rusty nails. Going through hell, keep on going, don't slow down. If you're scared, don't show it, you might get out, for the devil even knows you're there. Going through hell, keep on moving, face that fire, just walk right through it, you might get out, for the devil even knows you're there.
Come on, guys. Bring it up. Yeah. Well, if you're
Going through hell, keep on going, don't slow down. If you're scared, don't show it, you might get out, for the devil even knows you're there. If you're going through hell, just keep on moving, face that fire, and walk right through it, you might get out, for the devil even knows you're there.
An American soldier, I'm an American soldier. Yeah, I'm American soldier, an American. Beside my brothers and my sisters, I will proudly take a stand. When liberty's in jeopardy, I will always do what's right. I'm out here on the front line, so sleep in peace tonight. An American soldier, I'm an American. An American, an American soldier.
Would you welcome Pastor as he comes to bring the word today?
I want to know one thing. Where did this bunch of renegades come from and who let them in here? I'm glad you're here. I heard this story when I was a child in North Carolina that a man went walking through the mountains on an old logging road, and he rounded a bend and come face to face with a she-bear and 2 cubs. She saw him about the same time he saw her, and they both took off running, her right behind him. He was running as hard as he could go, and she was getting closer and closer. She was so close he could almost feel her breathing down his neck. Now, he didn't know what to do. He was in a panic, but he said, I looked and saw a tree that had a limb hanging out over the road, old logging road. He said, when I get there, I'm going to jump and catch that limb. But he said the closer I got, the higher the limb got. He said there was no way I could reach that limb with a jump. But he said I didn't have a choice. I had to try. So he said when I got there, said I gave a mighty leap into the air. He said, but I missed the limb. Going up, he said I caught it coming back down. I have on a necklace made of bear claws. I made this necklace. I killed this bear in Alaska. It was a grizzly, about 800 pounds. My son Parrish made this arrowhead. So I put together this necklace, and I've never had a chance to wear it. I said, I'm going to wear it today if I never get to wear it again. Anyway, wow. I don't know what to say. You'd pay big money if you went to Branson to see not nearly as good of what you saw today. So we didn't charge you to get in, but we are going to charge you to get out. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I want to talk to you. I'll be real quick. Real shortest sermon I'll ever preach in my life. It's called, What Will You Do Tomorrow? Sometimes something happens that changes forever the direction and the course of our life. I want to tell you a story that emphasizes that. It was Tuesday morning. John Carmody was not at work today. He was sitting at home, staring out the window. He tried to think of all of the big plans that he had had just a few days before, but somehow they just didn't mean much anymore. He remembered an event that happened, seemingly insignificant, 3 weeks ago. He had come home from work excited. He had just finished the annual stockholders report. He had big plans. But he wanted to give this report one final read to make sure the details were all correct and that he could present it properly, because it was so important to his future and to the future of his family. Seated in his easy chair, he started reading softly, out loud, the way you do when you're preparing to make a speech because you want to hear it. Suddenly he was interrupted by a little voice that said, "Look at my new book, Daddy. Isn't it pretty?" "Yes, Margie, it's very nice." He was back into the grand scheme of things, facts and figures. Again the little voice, "Daddy, look at this lovely picture. Could you read me just one little story?" "Not now, honey. Daddy's busy. I'll read to you tomorrow." Again the little voice, "Daddy, could you just read me one little story?" "Not now, Margie. Daddy is busy. Maybe tomorrow I can read you a story." "Run along now. Ask Mommy if she can read you a story." His mind returned to the report. These were important matters to John Carmody. But Daddy, Mommy's busy in the kitchen. Not now, honey. I'm busy. I'll do it some other time. I'll read you a story tomorrow. Like a good little girl, Margie stood there just looking at the lovely picture. Then she reached out very softly and touched his hand. He said, "What is it now, honey?" She said, "Daddy, tomorrow, when you have time to read me a story, would you read it to yourself? But just read it loud enough so that I can hear." "Sure, honey, I'll do that. Run along now. Daddy's busy. I'll read you a story tomorrow." But somehow, this Tuesday morning, that's all John Carmody could think about. He couldn't remember all of the important big plans that he had. Right now, those plans were being carried out at the office, but John wasn't at the office. He was home, staring out the window. He reached over, picked up a little book, turned to a page that had the lovely picture on it. He tried to read, but his lips were stiff. His throat was choked. He almost forgot the horror, the anger, the hatred that he felt towards the drunk driver who was sitting in jail right now charged with manslaughter. He didn't even see his wife standing at the door in her black dress, putting on her gloves. And she tried to keep her voice steady as she said, "I'm ready now, John. It's time to go." But John didn't hear. He was reading to himself, softly, yet out loud. Once upon a time, there was a little girl who lived in the Black Forest in a woodcutter's house. She was so beautiful and fair that the birds hushed their singing when they looked upon her. And then one day, softly, yet out loud, loud enough that maybe, just maybe, Marjorie could hear too. "What will you do tomorrow?" Some of you have got big plans for tomorrow. James the Apostle said in chapter 4, verse 13 and 14, he said, "You say, tomorrow we will do this or we will do that. We'll go to this place or go to that place, and we will buy and sell and we will make gain. But you do not know what tomorrow holds. For what is your life? It is but a vapor. It's here for a little while, and then it's gone." All we have, church, is today. There is no yesterday. And we have no promise of tomorrow. We only have today. I know you're busy. Got all these important things that are going on, and I am amazed at how many people tell me how busy they are. Got all these important things for the future. But what about all of the wonderful things that you plan to do with your kids tomorrow? What about all of the wonderful things you're going to say and do with your husband or your wife tomorrow? What about all of that wonderful service that you plan to do for Christ tomorrow? Oh, I plan to, Pastor. I'm going to get involved. I'm going to be faithful to God's house. I would like to even be an usher. I'd like to work in children's church. And I would like to be a deacon, but not now, Pastor. I need a little more time. Don't push me. I'm real busy right now. I'll do it tomorrow, some other time. What about your plans to get saved? Tomorrow. How many times have you heard the gospel and you've still never really made Jesus Christ the Lord and Savior of your life? Oh, you plan on doing it. You got great plans. You're going to do it. No, you're going to do it someday. Just not right now, preacher. I'm too busy. I just don't have time right now for Christ in my life. Oh, you wear a cross and you pretend that you're a Christian, but you're what I call a Twilight Zone Christian. You're just sort of in the shadows. You're in, you're out, you're up, you're down. But you've never really made that commitment that you're going to be a true follower of Jesus Christ. When are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to do it. Just don't push me. I'm going to do it someday. Yeah, you plan on doing it. I've never had anybody tell me, well, I'm not going to do it. I plan on going to hell. And nobody plans on going to hell. You're going to do it. Let me ask you a couple of questions and I'm through. If you knew that you were going to die tonight, I mean, if you knew if when you went to bed tonight, at some point, your heart was going to stop, you would take your last breath and you would not wake up in the morning. Let me ask you, what would you do with your kids? Do you think you might give them a hug? Hold them a little tighter? Tell them you love them? What about your parents? If you knew your parents were going to die tonight, do you think you might go give them a hug and say, I love you. Thank you for being my parents. What about your wife or your husband? If this was your last day and you knew there was no tomorrow, do you think that you might give your wife or your husband a hug and tell them how much you love them and say thank you for choosing to spend your life with me? You say you're going to do this or you're going to do that tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. But what do you know about tomorrow? You do not know what tomorrow holds. Because what is life? It's but a vapor. It's here and then it's gone. When are you going to make those decisions? When are you going to do all of those important things that are eternal? Instead of being so wrapped up in the little things that you think are so important now that you don't have time to do what is really important. Some of you keep putting off till tomorrow what you should do today.